Tell you right now, it's not as hot, at least in this one spot on the filter, as our two filters are. What we will do is vacuum both these filters, make aggregate piles, and do another sweep over, see what we find. But like I said, there should be nothing on these filters that's radioactive. Unless Diablo Canyon up at San Luis Obispo, which is upstream from us, so to speak, we're downwind of it, is somehow leaking radiation. The only other possible source that we can think of is the most obvious one, which are the 3 meltdowns occurring simultaneously in Japan since March 11th. Radiation station at EnviroReporter.com began March 15th, and on March 19th Denise and I went and bought HEPA filters to be able to keep the air controlled in our home in Santa Monica, where Radiation Station is located. The high readings on both our HEPA filters, taken over the last 6 weeks, because we last tested our HEPA filters on May 14th, that stuff that's on the filters, not in our lungs. However, did it get everything? And mind you, when you go back through our statistics, they read fairly normal. Yet this stuff got through. And if you're scratching your head and you're wondering, why am I the one doing this testing? I'll tell you why. It's because your U.S. Environmental Protection Agency over a month ago said there is nothing going on, there is no radiation reaching the United States, even though we've detected it all across the country, in our food, in our water, in our milk. And the EPA said, we're not going to test specially for this anymore, and our next set of tests will come to you in August. This outraged environmentalists. In 10 days after the EPA made that announcement, TEPCO, which owns the reactor complex in Japan, they finally admitted that on the first day of the disaster after the tsunami and earthquake, that their reactors began to melt down. Did the EPA change their position? No, they did. Then we find out and learn a new word that's even scarier than meltdown: melt through. That means the gooey radioactive blob that's resultant of a meltdown landing on the bottom of the containment vessel of the reactor, which is thick, thick steel, surrounded by even thicker concrete, had burned its way through the containment structure's steel. That is the worst scenario one can think of when it comes to a nuclear power plant melting down. Of course, there's one more step that make it even scarier, which is the super hot, almost impossible to control fuel burns its way through the concrete, through the ground, hits the water table, and creates an explosion of steam that will carry radioactivity up into the air, just like it's been doing for months. Well, now we've passed background, and we'll just see how far above background it goes. The thing about these 10-minute averages, they're much more accurate than trying to eyeball what the actual number is. But mind you, this is just taking an average, a 2-inch in diameter circle, one spot on this HEPA filter from Glendale. Like I said, after this test, I will vacuum the 2 filters you've seen in this film and collect their dust into piles, and we'll run the counter over it again. See if we can condense some of this stuff. Being very careful all the while not to spread it around or get it on us. So that concludes our 10-minute averaging, and it comes in at 556 or 55.6 counts per minute when our last background in here was 35.4. So, doing quick math, it is 157% above normal. Not a comforting thing to know, but it is what it is. Now we're going to turn this off, and I'm going to vacuum these 2 HEPA filters, and we'll come back and perhaps on film test the results of that. Thanks for watching.